What's up, guys? This is Living Life Holographic. I'm Chiron.
And I'm Ninukai.
And today, we're going to finish talking about tournaments and go straight into how we build Magic decks, because that's what we play with most. And then we're going to discuss how we're building decks with other TCGs different than Magic.
Brewing, casting, building, constructing, all the words that you would use just to build.
Constructing. We're not making a road here.
Yeah, no.
You're not repainting or anything.
Oh, right.
Now, but again, when you do tournaments, there's draft tournaments, and how do you build in that moment?
In the draft?
Because you're given 6 packs of randomly whatever's in it. You don't really build. You just throw those six packs together to make the deck, right?
Yeah.
So they come, of course, they come preloaded with everything you need to make a deck, but you might not get the cards you would want, and some of them might not make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that that's just how it goes, and that's what drafting a tournament is, which is why it can be really difficult. You have to be lucky enough to pull some actual good cards out of there, which is why doing that is fun and difficult. And we're gonna do a tournament soon together, but we mostly build casual decks.
Yeah.
So
casual.
there's a lot more strategy to that, because we use cards from any time in Magic as long as they're not banned or within a certain group that we play against or with, that we unanimously say hey, that card's banned because it's just too powerful, or no infinite loops.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of infinite loops, and then we just recently said no.
Yeah. I think at that point when you see the infinite loops happening, it doesn't become fun. Because in my Shalai and Halar deck, Shalai Halar, I had 4 alternate infinite loops that did when the red source deals damage, get a +1 counter on red terror, right? Or you have
your Hydra in that deck also.
Oh yeah, no, it's a +1 counter build up, and I'm very, very proud of it. It was actually my very, very first commander deck that I built.
Well, it's just fun building a deck, because you're trying to strategize and put it together, and you can build a really strong deck, or you can build a chaos deck, or just a fun deck. I'm in the middle of building
A group hug.
Well, I'm not building that right now.
I want to build a group hug deck.
You should build one of those. I'm building a dog deck that has a few cats in it, and it's just a fun dog deck with a few cats in it, because for whatever reason, I mean, I know it's not going to win,
but it'd be fun. That's the whole.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be fun, but maybe if I'm losing all the time, it's not going to be
Hey,
fun.
you know what? This is crap. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I spent $300 on this deck. I don't like this.
That's the one thing that that kind of sucks at first, because I think this is why you always play test your deck first. And what I mean by play testing is you could just sit at home on a table, a fine mahogany table like this, and just be
Stop caressing the table.
yeah, sorry, on a nice table like this, and just be draw your first 7. And then if you you just do that a few times, right? And then shuffle your deck, and then draw your first 7, right? And then you look at it. How many times did you mulligan? How many times did you get a hand that had 3 lands? And you write that down. And then if you have a mulligan, then you know that your deck's gonna do well. So usually with my Shalai Halar, I've only mulliganed maybe 4 or 5 times. I just go home and I just literally just play test my deck, and I just shuffle it, draw, and then I'll play it out. And then if I have any questions in our pod, I'll be well, when my pod asks this question, I should also kind of educate myself on my own deck. I don't want to be that person where I'm just spending 18 to 20 minutes just looking at my hand of 7 for who knows how long. Again, 18 to 20 minutes. And just be everyone else has had this 18 to 20 minutes already looking at their hand, and they're and land.
I don't have huge strategies in my deck, except for I'll wait till next turn to play this card.
Yeah.
Or my strategies is just be getting powerful, which is putting enchantments out, or tokens, or counters, or whatever my deck is built based off of. But there's not all right, I gotta play these cards in sequence for this to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to draw these cards, and then I have to search for this card. Like no, like it's just a simple strategy that I usually go for, and that's usually my strategy to when I build decks.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes and plays into it. You got to think, okay, what can I do with this hand currently? Do I go ahead and bluff a little bit? Do I go ahead and like start to go ahead and politic? Because that's what happens is that you got to go ahead and make sure that in your pod that you're looking at the surrounding like table with all the cards. So you got your commanders, everything else. How long are they taking? Some like usually what I do in our pod, I look at everyone's facial expressions. And then I look at how long they're taking at looking at one card specifically. Yeah, if you're looking at one card specifically, I'm over here. Here's my 7 hands, Jesus. Here's my hand of 7. Yeah. And I'm just like looking over here, and you can see that my head is kind of tilted over this way. And I'm thinking, okay, it's either he doesn't understand this card, or he's thinking, damn, what can I do to use this card to its full maximum ability? So then I think to myself, okay, that's obviously going to be a threat coming out. Because turn 1 Soul Ring, you don't even think about it. You just go, here's a land, tap, Soul Ring. You see, not much of a second thought comes into playing that card. You just like do it and play.
If you can get it on your opening hand, which is never easy, but apparently I can get it like 25%.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, man. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh with you. You just like the heart of the cards. It loves you. It's like Kariba.
You do the same with your own cards. You seem to always get
Which
like
one?
Any blue deck. You always seem to draw a counter spell because here's what we talk about the most when building a deck. How many of each type of card do we put in a commander deck, and how many of each type of card do you put in a standard deck? Because in a commander deck, usually you put anywhere from 36 to 40 lands, depending if you have a lot of artifacts that work as lands.
Mm-hmm.
And then how many sorceries and instant spells do you put in there that are maybe, if it's a blue deck, that are counter spells or spells that make you draw cards or helpful spells.
Yeah.
And then how many creatures, and then how many enchantments, and you basically the two biggest things that I struggled with in the very beginning was adding cards that help with ramp and draw power, because sometimes
that's right, you draw power.
Mostly draw power.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I have a great deck that I build, I just am stuck drawing one card at a time, and then I can't play anything.
Yeah.
And then if somebody has the ability to stop you every single time from playing a card, this is how you beat me a few times. Is I couldn't play anything because I was drawing one at a time. I had nothing out to do any draw parts. So it's like, how many cards in a 100-card deck would you put in your deck to help you draw cards?
I have 36 to 37 lands.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then I have my Arcane Signet, my Soul Ring, and then my Thought Vessel. So you see, already I don't include those in there. Yeah. So like that's why I get the cards I need all the time. That's why sometimes like I actually don't mulligan, is because I already have the cards I already need because I've already fixed that mana. But a lot of people, that's what they do though. They count that into that, and then they start struggling with the mana.
And you mulligan sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
After building a bunch of commander decks, trying to build a standard deck again is really weird.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less cards.
That's true.
There's 60 cards, right?
Yeah.
And usually how many lands do you put in that 60-card deck? 20-ish?
You put 25.
20 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
And you're allowed to put 4 of the same card with the same name in that deck. So do you put 4 Soul Rings in that deck too? Or is that way too much land? Because draw power kind of goes away a little bit. You still need it, but a lot less. Especially if you put a bunch of Soul Rings, then you don't need ramp, because that is your ramp.
Yeah.
But there's, like, if I made a standard dog deck, I would easily put 4 pack leaders in there because it gets all dogs +1/+1.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had 4...
Is it a legendary creature?
No.
Okay, yeah, so that would work.
I don't think so. Maybe?
Yeah. Because then that, you had the legend rule that hits.
Yeah.
And then you go and have one. But at least this way, in that case, if I was building that deck for like a standard, I would only put 2. Because 1 just in case it gets blown up, and then 2, and then I would put in Elixir of Immortality.
Oh, that's a good one to always have.
Yeah, because here's the thing: your opponents could go ahead and destroy all your creatures, and you could put all your spells into your graveyard. But with Elixir of Immortality, it basically, just like it says in the name, it's basically your cards are basically immortal, and you get that Kodama's Reach back. You go ahead and get all those spells back. You get your legendaries back. It's like as if your opponent wasted their cards on that, unless they have a Path to Exile. So
That's a great recursion.
Yeah.
And in a 60-card standard deck,
Yeah.
recursion's a lot more important
yes, it really
than
is.
than it is in a commander deck.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you only have less than 40 cards to build this deck, except if you do a draft tournament or a draft fun casual thing. Because like a lot of TCG stores have tournaments, but they also have just come and play Magic this day, and we'll give you a promo card.
It's like, shoot, count me in. I like promo cards.
Zulus does that all the time. They if Magic sends them a bunch of promos, and then they advertise it, and
Mhm.
like we're having a commander party, or we're having, which you usually do once a month, or we're having a Magic game night. You just come down, you sign up, so that way you get the RSVP, but it's free, just so they can reserve the space. You come in, you sit down and play, and then once time starts, and you're all sitting around playing, they come around and like hand everybody
Yeah.
the promo card.
Going based off of that, I have done actually a couple of draft tournaments. Drafting, you want to actually start with 2 colors, focus on 2 colors, and then you want to go ahead and do low cost cards, so low CC cards. So you want to go ahead and just do that, and then add in a few strong ones. But 2 colors theoretically will actually help you improve your win rate instead of just
They give you 6 packs or 4 packs. How many packs do they give?
4.
4.
Yeah, at least when I was over, it was like a long time ago.
I thought it was
Holy
6.
shoot.
I even said last time it was 6. But so if it's 4,
And it goes around. You open up 1 pack and you pass it down.
You open 1 pack and you,
Yeah, everyone gets 4 packs, and then you choose 1 card from that pack, pass it down, and
That's
then
how
they
it works?
choose. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, and
I
then
thought you just like randomly choose packs and then you everything in that pack you get. So basically,
oh yeah,
you have to go in with a little strategy of what you want to build, and,
Yep.
and then you look through the pack
mm-hmm.
and then take what you want.
exactly.
So if you don't take lands out of those packs,
They actually provide you the lands.
okay,
Yeah, they provide you the lands, but you, as a person, like you have to look at the cards that are provided in that pack, and then you take 1, pass it down, and then that person right next to you, like you, would pass down your pack to me that you already opened, and then I look at the cards in there. Now there's 1 less, and then I take this card and I pass down there. So it started out with what? How many cards are in a pack?
14.
Like 14. So now it's 13, 12, 11, 10, 9.
but
8.
there's one of those cards in the 14 is a land. Sometimes you might get 2 lands, but
Yeah.
so they probably take out the basic land, but there might be a legendary or a mythic land in there, rare. But building a deck, I guess, does take start. This is why I've never done a tournament,
Mhm.
and there usually are draft tournaments, not really regular tournaments. And I really want to do it. Hopefully we'll do it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
We should do it.
Yeah, definitely do.
But but building a deck is very, very hard, very strategic, but it can be fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think we could also do another deep dive on a later episode for sure, on how to kind of go over like the certain amount of cards are in there. Obviously 100, but how do you cut that down to lands and artifacts, sorceries, instant spells, and monsters and things like that. So.
Yeah, but we can definitely talk about that later. But for now, we are out of time. So thanks again.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
I don't know. We're gonna watch. So then, everyone, thanks again for watching. Give us a follow at Living Life Holographic on our Instagram. Give us a subscribe, like this video, like our posts on Instagram. We're on TikTok at same thing, Living Life Holographic. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok. We're gonna start posting a lot more fun videos there, as well as, of course, clips of our show. So a lot of fun.
All right, guys. It comes to the final end of this part of the episode, so don't forget to live your life holographic.
Live your life holographic.